Hey guys, what's up? It's Mo Clark with the Post Up News on Power 108.9 in the building with Miss Crystal, and we are here to discuss this book. What is it? Hard workers work hard, and networkers move up. Accelerate your career. Okay, so first things first, why did you decide to actually write this?
Well, Monisha, I started my career as a first-generation professional, first-generation college student.
Okay.
And I started out in the workforce with my degree, all excited and ready to go. And I was the hardest worker in the organization, but I kept getting passed up for promotions, right?
Amen.
And so one day, I went and talked to my director and asked him, what's going on? Why am I being passed up? Mm-hmm. And he said to me, you know what, Crystal? You are the hardest worker we have in this department, but that's all you will ever be if you don't learn to start building connections. People are hired, fired, promoted, and demoted over drinks, golf, the water cooler conversations. So you have to build those connections.
Right.
I couldn't change it at that organization. I tried, but I couldn't change it at that organization. But when I left, my motto became hard workers work hard and networkers move up.
Okay, so let me ask you, because I have faced that too in my regular 9 to 5, because I think it's a fine line between actually networking and being too personal.
Oh, yes,
so
absolutely.
How do you kind of draw the line between that?
So you want to be transparent and authentic and build connections with people, but you also want to keep your personal life to yourself. So you let people get to know you into your comfort zone, your level of comfort, right?
Yeah.
So that they feel like they know you, but they don't need to know all your personal business, right?
Okay. So for me, my biggest thing is social media and trying to keep my social media business separate from like social media work related. So with a lot of companies actually out there, they have all kinds of, like they have techs that this is what their job is, to find out if you're a whole nother person.
Yes.
So what kind of advice would you give to somebody in that particular situation?
You want to keep your business, right?
Okay.
And so keep your social media as professional as possible. You have to think it goes so much further than just social, right?
Right.
Your company can look at it. If you have a business, your customers can see it, right? So you have to think about your personal brand.
Okay.
What is your personal brand, and be consistent throughout social. Be authentic with social and your personal, your personal and professional life should present what it is your personal brand is. So you have to be intentional about it.
Now, what kind of advice would you give somebody? I don't know, a teenager who's shy, maybe. A young 18-year-old wanting to break into the industry, but they have a hard time maybe networking and being social. What type of advice would you give for the shy person?
So what I would tell you is networking is not about just going out, handing out business cards or trying to get to know people, smoozing, going to all the events. That's not what it's about.
Okay.
It's about building authentic connections, and that starts with service.
Okay.
So even if you're shy, you can serve, you can volunteer, you can go out and see how you can help people to build themselves. When you give, people feel compelled to give back to you, right? So give and it comes back to you. So start with service and just being authentic. You don't have to be anything but you, but if you are genuinely caring about people, and when you meet people, you start with, how can I help you? How can I serve you? That builds connections that are lasting and create sponsors to help you get to the next level.
Okay. So this book here, what are maybe 5 things you would say that you would want somebody to take away from this book?
Ooh, number one, we all have a comfort zone.
Right.
The comfort zone is it forms our belief system. It's when our belief system matches how we live every day, we're in our comfort zone.
Right.
So you have to become aware of what's in your belief system.
Okay.
And that's formed even when you're a child, up until like the age of 12. The people around you, your circle of influence, right? They all help to pour into you and form your belief system. So you've got to have a level of awareness, number one, to understand what was deposited into you as a child and how is that holding you back in life.
Right. Okay.
Number two, you have to realize that we all have dreams, passions, goals, right? We were all born for such a time as this. We all have purpose in us, right? God-given purpose to take us to the next level. And that purpose is not for you, it's for other people.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
So start looking and finding what it is that what is your purpose? What are you supposed to give to this world? When you realize that and you start to pursue it, guess what happens?
What happens?
Self-sabotage.
I agree.
Self-sabotage, okay? So I want you to be aware of that self-sabotage. And not only do you have self-sabotage, your circle of influence will sabotage you when you start pursuing your purpose, right? So with the Khalil Experience, what we do is we work on pushing past that sabotage, that fear, that natural fear that happens when you're trying to pursue your purpose. And the only way you can do that is action. Take action every day towards walking in your purpose, towards pushing past that fear. And once you're able to do that, you're able to break through the terror barrier to success. So I want you to understand fear is your worst enemy.
Amen.
And
I
then
agree.
comfort zone is number two, a close second, right?
Yep.
So we've got to push through those things to get to the next level. The only difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is action.
Action. I agree. I have those moments where, fear definitely steps in, and it's fear of, especially being in this industry, it's fear of I'm not good enough, or I don't have the curves that everybody else has, or can I be myself, and what gimmick can I have? Because that seems like that's what it's about. Somebody coming up with a gimmick and it kind of takes off.
Yes.
So I definitely agree with everything you said. Now, some people we know are not readers. So is this in a podcast? Is this auto? What? I just want to make sure everybody can get these gems.
Absolutely. We are working on the podcast, but I've done several podcasts. So if you go to my website, crystalkhalil.com, you can see the podcast that I've done with the information. And then also I have the Khalil Experience, which is a online mentoring program where we work through these things together. And it's pushing towards overflow. We're growing towards overflow together. And so all the information is on my website, and they can find everything they need right there.
Well, I'm excited. You've already helped me in 10 minutes. Like, I got to get out of fear, because the first thing you touched on is things that we have as a child. And unfortunately Disney has taught us that there is a prince out there that is going to have a castle that is going to take care of us. I need to rewrite Disney.
You know what? Disney is a program just like everything else on TV, right?
Right.
And those programs, just like the circle of influence, all the people in your family growing up, the television, all that programming leads to your thoughts. That's what creates your thoughts. Those thoughts create your feelings of fear, your feelings of limiting thoughts, right?
Right.
Those fears lead to the actions that take place in your life, and what you're living today is the results of those things, right? So we have to go back and deal with that programming. That programming is what causes you to think, I need a prince in my life. That programming is what causes you to think, I'm not good enough. I don't have enough curves, right? So we have to go back and reprogram.
I'm for that. We need to press some reset buttons,
Press some
everybody.
reset, exactly.
So before I let you go, because you do have things to do, honey, you got this wonderful chic event set up, which I'm definitely going to capture footage of this. Tell everybody where they can find you again, what's your social media, and how to grab this book.
Absolutely. So on Facebook, I'm at Crystal Khalil Speaks.
Okay.
On Instagram, I'm Crystal Khalil. And on Instagram, it's at Crystal Sky Bell.
Okay. Awesome.
And also on LinkedIn. LinkedIn at Crystal Khalil.
I don't even know my login for LinkedIn, but we are definitely excited. I'm going to sit around for a little bit, capture your event. Congratulations.
Thank you
to you.
so much.
Thank you for dropping these gems and sharing with me. We're going to make sure we get all of this and all of the promo, just in case you guys missed it. It's your girl, Mo Clark, with the Post Up News on Power 108.9. Of course, you can follow me at Miss ATL Doll on Instagram. And child, I don't tweet, but I'm on there. Just look up Miss ATL Doll, and we